Hola, mis amigos.
Hola, mis amigos.
Bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos.
Bien. Be. Ni. Dos. Al. Queerie.
Okay, so that whole
That's a lot.
middle part again.
Hola, mis amigos.
Bienvenidos.
Al Queerie.
Spanish lesson.
Hey,
Sí.
everyone. Welcome to the Queerie.
In Spanish, the Spanish edition.
Watch out. We're coming for you. We are beyond excited because not only do we have the amazing Thalia Novela joining us today, but it's a first for the pod because Thalia is joining us in drag.
Hi.
So exciting. You look amazing.
Oh my god, stop. I'm shy. I'm so shy.
I feel severely underdressed. I came straight from work, and I don't look as put together as what's going on over here.
I'm wearing a bra. You know what I mean? Just a
But it's a
bra.
glamorous bra.
It's
Thanks.
a bedazzled bra.
Everyone check out the YouTube if you can't see
Or
right
the
now. So you can
Instagram.
really just see the look because it's giving.
It is giving. It's giving Selena. Ew.
Yes.
We love
Or see?
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 See.
See?
See?
Is that yes?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God, Louise.
Sure.
Duolingo.
me learning Spanish on
Ask the
love
first
that.
question now.
Well, let's get this bitch rolling with our usual question.
Time.
Every time. I love it. It's happening. It's going to be the new way.
Yep.
Okay, so what are your pronouns and what names do you go by and when?
My pronouns are they, them at all times. When I'm not in makeup and stuff or not performing, my name is Enrique. And when I'm in drag, I'm Thalia Novela.
So how did you choose your drag name?
So what had happened was, I had a whole name before that that I shall not say because we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk
Tell
about
us
Bruno.
off camera now.
Yeah, I will. No, but it's like, it was such a bad name. Like, I hate it. But there was this night that me and Luna were, like, we were drunk. We were gone. Like, I was gone. She was like, hey, why don't you change your name to Thalia Novela? I was like, you know what? That's pretty fierce. I didn't even remember that I changed my name on Instagram. I woke up the next day and I was like, what happened in
Oh,
here?
you really did it like on Insta.
Yeah, like
drunk.
I was drunk. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change it, whatever. So I realized that I had changed it. Then I changed it back because I was like, you know what? I need to do a post. Like, I need to share my feelings with the world. So like I waited a couple more weeks and then I changed it back to Thalia and I made like a whole post. Because like when I started, I was not really full doing Latin drag. It was just like bits and beats. I think like once I changed my name, I think the whole embracing Latin started happening,
yeah.
which is really, but also what a good name. Like Luna's brilliant.
It is a good name. For those of you listening, we just need to discuss because Louise is not aware that it was Thalia Novela as in
I'm struggling
telenovela.
with the drag names. I don't understand
Bless.
until I get told.
No, that's fair.
I feel like we should do a quiz episode or something where it's
Yes.
just drag names.
What
I
are
can
these
practice.
drag names
Yeah.
and what are their
I can
puns?
practice putting the puns together because
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
It is a good pun.
but I
though.
love it.
It's a
As soon as
good
I
one.
find out, it's like, oh my God.
So, going off that, how did you begin your drag journey?
So I didn't know what drag was until I came to Australia. And I have to say I was really scared of drag queens when I came because I was like little baby 18-year-old just going to the clubs. And I thought they were really scary. Some of them are. But I saw Drag Race. I started watching Drag Race on season 6.
That's
And
what I'm
I
watching right now.
Isn't
Yeah,
it the
the
best?
first
It's
time.
honestly
Yeah.
the best season.
It's
I
the
love the
best
season.
Yeah,
They're
so
so
good. Courtney
talented.
Act and everyone. Yeah, it's good.
Bianca.
It's good.
I love
Oh my
Bianca.
God.
I just saw her the
she's
other
really
night.
real.
So
I just
She's so
went to
funny.
her
wait,
show
don't
the
say
other
went?
night.
don't say who won
Yeah.
yet because I don't.
I
know.
bought tickets the day before the show because I was like, she's coming and I wanted to go for ages. And then I just bought the ticket and went and it was so good.
She's the best.
It was-
She's
yeah.
the best. Like
She's
one
very
of the
funny.
most
very,
as well.
very cool.
Yeah.
But like she also has very similar background as me. Even the countries that her parents are from, they're like so close to mine. Yeah, I was like seeing someone on TV doing that and being her. I was like, I really wanted to do it. And then I saw Scarlet Fever in SmackDown 2017. At the moment, like I was working at night, I was, a cute little cleaner. Because like I was struggling with English. Like it was a hard time, and I remember seeing her on stage, and I just felt really happy.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do that. I was like, no, I need to start doing it. And then I started doing drag in 2018 for Drag Junior, which, by the way, like, I was like, yeah, you know what, doing makeup is going to be fine. Like, I'm not going to practice or anything. I was wrong.
Mistake.
It was the worst. Like, I looked so busted. I was like crunchy
I feel
eyebrows.
like that's a universal story.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
like,
but, like
junior
babies
drag queens.
nowadays, like I will say, like the babies nowadays, they look so pretty. I'm like, you know,
How did you get that?
how dare you?
So when you came to Australia, did you know much English at all, or were you pretty?
I mean, I had like the English classes at school, but like it's not the same.
That's
And
so.
also,
That would be so scary.
Yeah.
oh, I remember like the first week that I came here, I was by myself as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Yeah.
mean, it was an experience.
Yeah. Was it just because you were like, I want to go?
Well, I
somewhere
mean,
else, or?
I was like, it's not really safe back home for queer people. So, and I also really wanted to come out. And I was like, Australia is really far away. Let's go there.
Yeah.
But I remember being on the bus for the first week and I couldn't understand anything. I just
my
remember
God.
crying every single night at home
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm just trying my best. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's
Well, you've come a long way.
crazy. Yeah. That's insane. So you moved here by yourself. Your family's all still back home.
We're all like spread around the world. I don't know why we didn't like. I love my country, but for example, my brother is in Argentina, my sister is in Germany, my mom is in Argentina at the moment, and I think only my dad is back home.
So not only do you perform in drag, but you also dabble in stand-up and burlesque. So can you tell us about how you got involved in those two performing types and how they differ from your experience in drag?
I got involved first with the burlesque scene when I was doing the first Galaxy with the House of Tick. And there were these two gorgeous burlesque performers that are called Lazy Pop and Ivy Cartel. They're really great. I didn't know what... No, I did have the idea of what burlesque was, but like I had never met any of them. And I had like a lovely time with them. And then I started going to classes. It was just really fun. Like they're also supportive. But doing burlesque was what made me realize that I also was non-binary. Because like I know like it's a little bit hard, but for me, if I'm doing burlesque, like that's not drag because I feel that like it's not, I'm not putting on a character. Like that's me, like that's my body. And when I'm not wearing makeup or I'm not wearing a wig, I know that I cannot pass as non-binary, and the gender euphoria that I get from doing burlesque, it's like incredible. Like it just feels so like that's how I feel, you know. With a stand-up, I think I always watch roast online. I
so
love
good.
roast. They're my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like the Justin Bieber one. That one was alright. But even growing up, because you know when you're young, like just like comedy. And then also watching Bianca Del Rio doing her stand-up set. And stand-up has been great because I find that sometimes I use that as a way of dealing with stuff. And, you know, being an immigrant, growing up in a country that is not queer-friendly, like being so many minorities, like there's so much material because like there's a lot of pain there as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to like, even though it's been like really hard, let's make some money out of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think a lot of comedy comes from like
Trauma.
pain and trauma and things like that, right?
Yeah, I know that I'm not a comedian by any stretch of the imagination.
I say you're funny. Here and
Thank
there
you.
sometimes.
But I feel like I do that often with like trauma things. Me and my best friend all the time will be like, you know, whatever, you know, stupid thing that happened to us when we were kids, it's always turned into a joke and like a laugh to get through it because it's just easier, and I'd rather laugh than cry. So
Yeah, I mean, like, I find that, like, I just got tired of crying. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm done with crying.
Time to
I
laugh.
have cried so much. I want to laugh. I want to make people laugh.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, I will say the most shocking things and people laugh. I'm like, good.
You're like,
Thank you.
nice. Thanks for laughing.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Can I ask, what do your family know about your queerness and doing drag and burlesque and all of these things?
50-50.
Yeah, sure.
So I came out to them as queer, as gay. I would say gay because I was at the time what I thought it would be the easiest for them to digest. And I would say I was so scared because, like, I know that.
It's a generational thing, right?
Yeah.
Like they've grown up forever not being, familiar with this thing.
And, like, also knowing or being taught that being queer was
It's
wrong.
bad, yeah.
So I was so scared. I remember that I asked a group of friends to write a letter to them, being like, telling them that even though I was queer, that I was still a good person. And, like, because internalized homophobia is so real.
Oh, it's so real. I'm with you. Yeah.
Especially in like
In a situation like that.
yeah.
But they were fine, which was the shocking thing.
Okay.
Like, my parents were okay. My brother and my sister were okay as well. Like, I just not expect that because, like, in my head, I was like, I'm ready. If they want to kick me out, like, I get it. It's not on them. It's just generational trauma. Like,
You
I
were
get it.
prepared for that.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I had money for a hotel. Like, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, wow.
I haven't told them that I do drag and burlesque, but I think that's the next step.
Mm-hmm.
But I did tell my mom that I was non-binary the other day, and she was cool with it. She was cool.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So you told them while you were still living back home?
No, I waited till. So I went to visit them once, probably like 5 years ago, and because I knew that it could go wrong, I was like, I'm just going to go for 10 days.
Yeah, okay.
Wait till the last few days
Yeah.
until then. But yeah, they were fine. I was
Yeah.
like shocked because, yeah, like the way that an AMAP person is supposed to be back home is like, very macho. Like, you have to be, and like, that has never been me. And I think they should have known. Like, I had a Glee thing on.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted
Glee
to go to
mural.
Broadway. Like, Ricky Martin.
Come on, guys. Take the
Yeah, I was
honestly.
like,
When did you realize that you were a part of the LGBTQIA plus community?
I think I always had the suspicion.
When you saw Ricky Martin.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God! But actually,
posters on the
Tito, because I remember like I remember that he was in like a Pepsi bottle, like when I was young, when I was a child. So very early on. I saw him. I was like, oh, I have to feel that he's gay, but he's kind of fine.
You're like, that's hot.
Yeah, I was like, he's
Pepsi
kind of
bottles.
fine. Yeah, I had the suspicion there, but for a long time I thought that I was bisexual. But I think a lot of that, in my case, came from the idea that I needed to give my parents a family, like the pressure of like, oh, I have to have a family.
I think a lot of people have that.
Yeah,
Right.
like
It's all about like, oh, I have to have kids, which you can anyway.
Yeah.
/ you don't
It's
have
like
to.
following that traditional way of everything.
I blame the church.
Like they miss out on something if you have a.
But that's
certain
like kind of
lifestyle.
what you're told your whole life, right? Like
absolutely.
you grow up, you get married, you have
So
kids.
it becomes
that's what you
internalized
do.
that like you have to do that for them, but like it's your life.
Yeah.
And also, it's not really practical. If you think about the war right now, like
Yeah, less kids.
We don't need more people. We need less people. Like,
The people who don't have kids are the good ones.
and they're happy.
Thanks, guys.
And rich.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, they have been rich. Like,
That
what
is also
else?
true. So you thought maybe, you were bi.
Yeah, I thought that I was bi for a while. I even had a girlfriend. I know it's shocking because I'm like, but she broke up with me because I didn't want to kiss her, and now I know why. Yeah, I didn't know why.
We had that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
She was
Wonder why.
nice. God bless her soul. I don't know what she's doing now.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. Great beard though. Oh yeah, so I thought I was bi. And then when I came here, I was just started going out more, and I had this queer Colombian friend, and he was very femme, and I think he helped me embrace the fact of being like queer, because it's such a thing. It's like, I think even when I came here, like I actually dye my hair like bright red. Like I went with another name and last name. Like I created like a whole other character. And like I tried to separate like being queer with being Latin because like in my head like they just couldn't mash.
Yeah.
And I think in the last episode, did you all watch Drag Race Down Under?
Yes.
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 Queen
yes.
Con conversation with RuPaul on stage about for brown people sometimes it's really hard for us to accept our queerness because there's always like that feeling of like this is not right because we have been told for so long that is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge like it's such a huge labor that we have to do within ourselves to accept ourselves like
to
and
get
I
rid
think
of that all
yeah,
that
like
the things you've been told.
internalized thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, in my case, in my country, I blame the church. But like,
Oh, yeah.
because child, like literally, and I thought it was such an important conversation to have because I know that a lot of brown people sometimes we come across as very guarded or very reserved, and people don't realize that we have such an inner battle within ourselves to embrace ourselves. And I think things like drag, any performance art really helps bridge that
Those
gap
gaps,
between
yeah.
like being Latin or, you know, whatever is your heritage with being queer. And I think blending them is the best thing ever. Like, I love it. And Thalia, I think, was the thing that helped me embrace being queer and being Latin. And now I'm like a proud Latinx queer person.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool. I reckon, like, I have never done drag, but going to watch drag and being in queer spaces was my kind of moment where I was like, okay, yep, cool, this is where I'm meant to be. I'm queer, blah, blah, blah. So it's interesting that it's the same for, like, a performer and an audience. Like, I think that's a really
Everyone's
cool
just finding themselves
feeling,
and
Because
yeah.
represent-
feeling
Representation.
comfortable and
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
Seen
it
on
really is. It's
stage.
just representation, right? Yeah, you see
Yeah.
yourself in whatever is out there and then you feel not so ashamed and that gap closes.
I mean, yeah, like that's it. Like, you don't feel ashamed when you see someone on stage just
Yeah.
fully embracing themselves. Like,
Yeah.
because when you're embracing yourself on stage, you're also giving the person in the audience permission to embrace themselves. And I think that's so beautiful. I think
That is so beautiful. Oh my
Right?
God.
That's nice. Make that a quote. So on that topic, you're a producer of Point of Change.
yes.
So can you tell us a bit about that and
Oh
why
my
it's so
God.
important to you?
Well, Point of Change is probably the thing that I'm proudest of that I have ever done. It has started, I think, 2 years ago. I have really bad memory. Like, it's
Sometime
awful.
around then.
But it has started 2 years ago because a lot of microaggressions and also not so microaggressions had happened in the community towards people of different races. And I thought it was like I was done with it. I was like, you know what? We actually need to have our own event when we celebrate our cultures. And we also raise money for people like us. Like, I think that is so important to celebrate culture because it makes us unique. Like, it connects us with our ancestors. So Point of Change is basically that. It's like a night of cultural celebration performed only by POC performers and like raising money for like POC charities. And it's so beautiful. Like, I cannot even describe it. Like, it's so much work and sometimes it's so stressful to do
That's
it.
so worth it.
Oh my God, totally. Like, there's been a couple of times that I'm like, you know what, this is the last time that I do it because like I'm really tired. It's a lot of work. And then something happens on the night and I just get emotional because, for example, the last time in Man in a Week, they did an Indian number. And that was the first time that I had seen them do that.
Oh, wow.
And it was so beautiful. And it's just seeing someone connect those gaps. Like, you know,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I know that people like that are listening to the podcast cannot say it, but it's like, it's like I'm making like a nice face. Like, it's
a
just
very-
beautiful.
It's very emotional
Yes.
and like heartwarming.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Yes, wholesome face.
Like, you just want to hold them and like cherish them, and I don't know, it's just beautiful. And I think it's also so important to keep uplifting POC artists because their reality is like Brisbane is now starting to do the work, but back in the day it was not the case.
Yeah.
Given we always have had POC icons, like we have had Malika, we have had Shinta, Wu, Chocolate Box, Katya, like there's always been performers of color, but I think now people are realizing how talented we are, and it's good. Like I would say, like the people that have helped to the change is like Runway Movement, House of Alexander, Dick Shake, and it's just beautiful to see Brisbane starting to move in the right direction and seeing more POC babies coming out. Like that is so fierce.
Because they
like
feel comfortable too.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? It's that whole representation
Yeah.
thing, right? Like they've seen
Full
themselves
circle.
and now they know that they
they can
can
do
also.
it. Yeah.
What do you have any future goals for Point of Change or where you want to take
Ooh.
it?
Well, at the moment, well, I always wanted to do like a fringe show, like a
yeah.
full
Yeah.
production show, and just like a whole showcase. And I think maybe I will work on that next year.
Yeah, that would be really,
That would be amazing.
really cool to do.
Fierce.
Yeah.
And like, there's so many. I mean, there's so many performers that I want to be in that as well. I also wanted to do like a POC pageant. You know, little Miss POC. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the name yet, but like like a cute little pageant. But my main goal, like the close term goal, the short term goal is to be able to put together the show by the 7th of October. That's our next POC. Just putting that out
Nice.
there.
Yeah, we love the short-term
Amazing.
goals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's like there's not much time left, but like it's going to be fierce. We're going to make it happen.
So you just reach out to POC performers, like of every sort of art form? Yeah.
Like burlesque, Ruby Corbett, Busybody, even Montesa, like they're great burlesque performers. Ruby has been involved, bless you, since the first POC, and also another great person to follow because they have done so much labor in educating people about cultural appropriation. So we have burlesque, drag. I feel that I'm forgetting someone, and I feel that I'm going to get a message as soon as this comes out. But literally any art form, like if you're a POC performer, if you want to be on stage, like please do just join, message us, like do it. I want to see your art.
Yeah.
Let me celebrate you.
So we wanted to touch on the fact that you won the Young Achievement Award 2022
Congratulations.
at the
Oh,
Queen's
thank you.
Ball. Congratulations. That's such a great achievement.
I see what you did there, yeah.
And, you know, we kind of wanted to talk about how you've found such like great success in drag and you've been so brave to come to the other side of the world and do this.
Embrace your queerness
Yeah.
so wholly.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say if you had stayed in your home country, how different your life would be now?
It's really hard to think about that because the reality is that a lot of queer people die back home. So I don't know if I will be here personally, like in this war, or I don't know if I will have to hide as a straight person. Like, I generally have never thought about what will it be to have stayed back home because
It's a really scary thought, right?
it's like heartbreaking. And like sometimes I think about the people that are back home, that the queer kids, like just growing up, and it's just
That can't
that
Yeah.
can't.
move to the other side of the
Yeah.
world.
And like being able to look like this, or just being able to be outspokenly queer, like I feel so blessed. But it's also so heartbreaking that I feel blessed because the reality is that everybody should be.
Everyone should feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess you're doing something so important here, like with Point of Change and putting yourself out there so that hopefully people like you 2-3 years, however long ago you came, I don't know, can feel confident to do that and feel like they'll also be able to be themselves.
Eventually embrace or create a point of change, I suppose. Like, for those kids that, that don't have the opportunity or
Are too scared.
are too scared or whatever to be able to embrace themselves completely. You doing what you're doing now is opening up that door for people to see what's going on and what is this, and to educate, I suppose. So with all that being said, obviously you are creating such a change in the community, and we've talked a lot about representation, and I guess going off of all of that, what makes you most proud to be queer?
I think what makes me more proud to be queer, it's like connecting the two things, being Latin and being queer, because I get to be representation. And like, even if I was not doing drag, I think everybody can be representation. Like, just being who you are, embracing who you are, it's enough representation for anyone on the street. Like, imagine like being like cute little angel baby that doesn't know anything and is scared of being who they are, and they just see an outspokenly queer person just walking on the street. That's enough to motivate them to be themselves. And I think that's what makes me proud, being able to be representation for hopefully queer Latin people. Like, crossing fingers.
Yeah, that's so wholesome. It's so nice to hear people really wanting or really trying to help their community, like more specifically, not just the queer community in general, but more specifically a group of people that you can relate to so much, to be able to help them, you know, see themselves and give them strength if they're in a place where they can't outwardly be who they want to be. You can give them a bit of something, you know, whether it's a post on Instagram or a performance that they see, whatever that is, you know, it gives them hope, I suppose.
So thank you so much for coming on. It's been an amazing conversation and we've learnt a lot.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Your life.
It was so much
Opening up
fun.
about, everything.
Yeah.
In your journey. Sorry, is there anything that you'd like to plug?
Do you have
This is your
anything going
chance.
on?
Oh my God, I'm glad you asked. Well, we have upcoming, the next POC is on the 7th of October. I was going to say February for some reason, but it's not. 7th of October. And yeah, it's going to be really fierce, gorgeous, and stunning. And if you're a POC artist that would like to perform, please do message the Point of Change page, not me, but the Point of Change page.
Which is
Point of Change.
Point of Change on Instagram.
Yes.
And do you want to plug your Instagram?
Oh my God, yes. That's a good idea. Thank you. My Instagram is Thalia_Novela.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoyed. We did.
Yes, we definitely did.
And now let's do a cheers.
little cheers.
To end it off.
Okay.
Salud.